want some content? Time for the content flop.
Okay, we're all aboard the content train. Welcome. Today I have a replay for you today. This has been my kind of standard setup, a 2v2 Barbarian on Comet Catcher. Something about the consistent energy placement. I've been going for a sub 20. This is a 20-minute win. This is a similar build order and progression that I would use for PvP, right? So I'm going to be going tier 1 bots into Sheldons, and then taking the Sheldons all the way to kill both commanders. I think I get the first commander with tier 1 in this game. So this is like your standard play here. Grab all your mexes, power to keep those mexes going. There's a lot of fine-tuning build orders. Like this, there's a few, like I could have started here and worked backwards. I'm just going to get that one later because we're starting bots, so we don't need like that much metal. Like here, juggling, and this is something I see top tier players do, is they'll juggle building this first constructor with like building that additional power needed to power both the power plant and the commander. See here, I switched from that because I want this guy out. I have enough power to just poop him out. This is probably why this game went better than the others, right? Okay, and now he's out. He can assist the factory. The big difference here is like this LLT in the back. If I was playing a lane game, like it glitters. In general, I wouldn't build as many LLTs. I build more LLTs when fighting the Barbarian AI, especially because the Barbarian AI is going to probe you. It has perfect micro. A big problem I see newer players do is they over-rely on static defense, and static defense has a lot of like key drawbacks that are very easy to exploit to even like a moderately experienced player. You know, it does better early game, again, against these good scouting units, just to keep like a tick or something stupid from destroying a whole Nexus or field of Nexus. But really for defense, you want units. And you actually need to take a look at the build queue. This is kind of my standard build queue. I do 2 defensive units. If I'm playing ARM, it's like a Centurion. I find direct fire is good for getting like the ticks, so you want something that can shoot lasers. And then I like mixing your rocket bots and your plasma bots, about 10 at a time, split down the middle, and then a constructor or 2 for each volley of those guys to help support and gather mexes. This is a big mistake that I as a player have struggled with, and that is like power. Isn't like people see metal as the most important thing, but it's like, well, no, like they're all 3 important, right? You need power, you need metal, and you need build power, right? And it's keeping those in balance and paying attention that's kind of like the key part, right? So like right here, I'm being very greedy because I know I can get away with like this, you know, there's going to be like at least 10 minutes of tier 1 where my commander is going to be pretty safe. If he gets swarmed, he can get degunned, especially if I'm putting down LLTs as I go, because they can help provide cover. About 4 minutes, my 3 and 4 constructor is out grabbing mexes, and they have these guys to help defend them. And now we're starting to get our offensive units out of the gate. This guy's going to just help the factory and then build more build power as we need it. This guy's only going to build power. And that's what I found. It's like just like the continually to scale power the whole game. In fact, I don't think I ever even build the fusion reactor here. I think I just scale into the advanced solar collectors, which I've heard people argue against, but 75 versus 20, 150 versus...
Landing way over my head.
But a big part is it has a smaller footprint. So even if you're breaking even on the metal to power ratio, being able to save space and having your units not have to walk as far, especially as you get tier 2 metal up. I don't know, that's been kind of my strategy lately. We'll see if it plays out or if I even get to the advanced solar. Be aggressive. You can't, if you're new to this game, you can't go wrong with like just build units. Bots are always the easiest and cheapest to build. So yeah, so what I want to do is I'm going to watch this game and then I'm going to try to replicate it and see if I can beat the time. Assuming I have, assuming that goes well, I might try an air rush just to show you like, okay, if you want to just cheese the Barbarian AI, like what to do. but that strategy may or may not be as useful. This is kind of the trick to all RTS games, because it's kind of like, when do you push, like when have you massed enough, like what's the magic number, and it's kind of always based off of, well, like what is your opponent doing, so it's kind of really up to your playstyle and like what you think you can get away with. See, now I feel like in another game I would have split these guys off. In fact, oh, here we go, here I did it. I did the thing that I was about to say. I thought I was about to make a mistake. But we don't make mistakes here. No, because remember, like I said, those direct fire units I find more useful defensively, whereas these guys are going to outrange other things. One thing, though, I like doing is I like attacking with radar. So, see, I've got these guys. Going up the side of the map can be pretty useful tactic against the computer, just because the computer only likes to centralize units along where the metal is. So sometimes you can find gaps. Like a lot of times playing this scenario, I'll go around the back here. I'm bringing these boys up not just to grab this metal and create cut off this choke point, but also I really want radar here, because let's actually go to my view here. For now that we're engaging, you can kind of, it makes a lot more sense why I was playing defensively, because it's like, okay, I've got this big sea of black. I've got units. You don't want to waste units. You don't want to feed your enemy metal. Like I said, I'm playing this as if I was playing an 8v8. Again, this is to practice that build order, practice that transition. Like in earlier iterations of this, I wasn't able to pop the first commander with tier 1 units. I'd usually start to push with tier 1 and then have them supplemented with tier 2, and then I would end up with 2 forces, one going around the back here, and one cutting down the middle. I don't actually remember how this one went. I don't actually know if the exploiter is worth it. It's just kind of fun. Again, like useful. I'm not entirely playing this again as efficiently. Like I'm using more static defense. This kind of ended up being kind of a useful choke point, especially with the twin laser. Here we're starting to engage. Again, like I really wish I had this vision, because then it would be easier to outrange this turret without taking fire. I believe I move up the grave robber to help with repair. Repair is clutch for the sustained sieges and pushes. This is bad here that Boy's been idle. One tip that I found is you want to automate, like I had that long queue for my commander. I said that and now Boy starts moving, so you can tell I'm in my own head. But you want to automate your construction as much as possible so that you can micro your units, because that's where you're going to find more efficiencies, especially against the computer. The computer is very hard to scale against, though I think this game in particular, my economy, I've optimized this kind of build path and push pretty well at this point. Again, how this would scale against the player, probably not as well, depending on the skill of the player, but there's some still solid tactics here. And if you're someone who struggles with the Barbarian AI, which I know you're out there, don't even front. I struggled with the Barbarian AI for a while. This could help you. That's probably the biggest thing. Build radar. It's cheap, and it tells you where things are. See, now I've got this radar up. I can tell if he's going to push me here. I don't want these units to get cut off. I think in other games I had pushed up to this Nexus and got punished for it, so I think he was just kind of holding here. But I had meant to build... I was going to build more static defense here. Kind of see, this is bad here, what I'm doing here. I'm kind of responding to this artillery as well. That's another tip. Stay zoomed out. Like, you don't necessarily have to see the whole map, but look at all of your units at once, because then you can see who's taking fire. The scroll in, tab keys help with that. Like, so it's tab out, and then scroll wheel in to zoom back into at the same height that you were at. I usually just scroll back and in. I found, Space Marine 2, I forget which, if it's the main boy, if it's like the Boy Scout boy, or who says it in the game, but one of the Marines says slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I find like that's true for me when I try to like micro really fast and like, oh, I gotta put this unit here. Now I forget which game this is. There's one game where I pop both the commander and the factory. I think this is it, because I think the game where I didn't pop the factory wasn't a 20-minute victory. It's 20 and change, right? It's 20 in seconds. There's something I like about the Dragon's Maul, the other pop-up Static defense. Here we go. I think we're going in for the kill here. Yeah, that's going to kill the... Or does it? Like, we're fanning out to avoid the decon and to avoid splash damage. I think I go for the factory first, because I think where my head was, well, if I can destroy his production... I really should have just gone for the commander. Yeah, I think here I changed my mind, because I realized if I just kill the commander, I'll get both. Oh, and while all of this is happening, I've gone tier 2 and completely forgotten. About 50 plus is where I was transitioning on this, which might be a little high, but I mean, that depends on, like, you know, do you want to reclaim this? Yeah, I think I was so caught up with the micro here, trying to get this commander, I completely... Here we go, now we're getting our tier 2 metal up. Save. We only have 8 minutes left, so we're just doing 30 Sheldon, radar, anti-radar. Commander's going to help him soon, I think. So we want to focus on getting that metal up. Get your metal up, not your pedal up, son. There we go. Alright, so I go back in for the commander. This beamer really did work on me. I think if I had focused the beamer, I could have gotten this commander a lot sooner. So, like, yeah, I know a sub 20. I know I could probably shave a couple more minutes. There's a lot of inefficiencies here. So that boy's popped. I want to hold this and take all this metal, because that's going to help me pump out units faster. There we go. Okay, yeah, we got our first boys of Sheldons. I think what I have been doing is just assigning the Q part at the anti-radar. This is the best unit against the computer. I still find it useful in PvP, though not as useful, because player will be able to, like, see where the fire is coming from and attack the units, or figure out how to take down your anti-radar, or, like, use a Juno or a tick spam or whatever. But if you're struggling with the Barbarian Ai, this is your boy here, Radar Jammer. Just generally a great anti-artillery. It's actually nice I have all of this tier 1 still alive. I didn't necessarily feed to them. Like, that's one thing that I did probably a little bit better in this round is, like, I didn't even get to building, like in other iterations I would build static defense here, but maybe having that resources put into this earlier is why this game went so well. Maybe that's again another point against static defense, right? I don't know if the Sheldon Ball is still meta. I don't know if it's changed enough, but this, whether you do it with hounds, I really like the all-terrain railguns in the Legion faction. In fact, I think if I do another PvE, it's gonna probably be with Legion. I usually like playing Legion. I just think their units are fun. I grew up playing TA, so, like, a whole new faction that's still in, like, it's pretty faithful to the feel of the original, but it definitely has, whereas, like, Cortex and Armada are, like, very much like mirror matches. Legion feels like it has some kind of unique properties. I really like the napalm, the railguns, the big Eye of Sauron unit. Just a lot of fun units. This again, like, I wanted to focus. This is like practicing economy. This is practicing micro, and like putting that all together. At some point, our second constructor, and I would try to grab him as soon as I can and queue him up here, and then build static defense, like long-range plasma cannon in the center to help support. Here he is now. Usually one of these, couple of these. One of these is usually good idea. And then, of course, yeah, you want your jammer. We have the mobile radar bot. You know, it's always good to have redundancy. You know, again, this 400 is not that much late in the game. We are, I mean, we're using all of the metal that we are getting into pumping units, and they are making their way across the map. I'm not really covering the battle because it's pretty much just a slog, right? It's just a siege, move up, just keeping the units in the bubble, right? I usually just move them up, like I'll queue them inside the bubble, not so far that they get line of sight. See, like here, I got a little too close to that. It gives the other units line of sight, so now their artillery's counter-battering. We lose the anti-radar. In fact, it was good to pull it back when I did, because we don't want to lose him entirely, because then we would have to wait for this other one. Here, okay, alright, we got it back up. Can start the push again. So again, like another pretty glaring inefficiency. I think I'm wondering if it would ultimately be faster against the computer to do the kind of slip around, especially if I just focus that T2 behind the tier 1. But then you leave the center open. The problem with like not pushing to the center is you leave the center open. My teammate gets molested, gets diddied. We don't want that. We can't have that. Okay, so now we finally spotted the commander, and yeah, here we are at 20 minutes. And I lost the anti-radar, but I'm going in for it. Here, again, I could have pushed a little more aggressively. This gauntlet scared me for no reason. Also, this guy, we don't like this guy. And that's 20 and 8 seconds. Let's look at that beautiful data. Metal used, which I guess, you know, having this being the default is pretty self-explanatory. You can see where we start to get that tier 2 advantage. I mean, that's obviously like what you want out of any game, right? You want to be able to apply pressure so much during tier 1 that you are able to transition to tier 2 seamlessly, take that advantage into the late game. And here you see I did actually transition into those advanced solars, right? Traditionally, when I win a game against the computer, I don't win the economic victory. That's why this was the one I've been practicing a lot, and I was like, this is the one I should turn into content. Energy produced. Okay, this tells an interesting story here. We have a nice curve here at the beginning where I'm ahead. Perfectly smooth though, you can see, because like my whole energy strategy is just solars all the way down. No aphis, jump, no geo bump. Obviously it's a moon planet, there's no geo. Red does jump ahead of me and stays ahead of me about halfway through the game. Metal produced. Play greedy. No. Did we have any converters? No converters. Part of this also comes from I've played this map a lot, and like playing the same map with the same number of people, you get an idea of like, okay, where are you going to come in contact with the enemy? Where is there going to be friction? What metal can you grab for free, right? So like playing on those advantages. This is what you love to see. Only a brief window we're down in kills, right? And this is funny because this is probably reflective of me sparring with yellow and me losing to like static defense and then me finally breaking through. Green actually has the most units. My teammate here, holding off red long enough for me to come in. And then red, of course, you know, which this also probably reflects that it's like, okay, late into the game, I'm no longer building tier 1, so I'm building denser units and building more units. I love just looking at the data, man. Don't you love looking at the data? And boom! This is what you like to see. Boom! Doesn't matter, because most damage, right? That's what damage wins games. Let's play one. Can he do it? Can he do it? The extra solar, if I wasn't building the LLT, I wouldn't build the extra solar, right? If I had players lined up, here we go! All my friends love build order. I've played air and I've played eco, and I don't have a specific build order for those. It's kind of based off the position, but really for any kind of front player, it's basically grab all the mexes, build your factory, make sure it has power, and expand. You know, paying attention always to what you need. Let's see if we can get that sub 20, boys. Watch me just lose. Why is there wind? This supposed to be wind on the moon. So, to those boys. That's been working so far. It's gonna end up decaying on me. Oh, yep, it did. I played myself. Oh, no. Alright. Again, radar is so powerful. Again, this LLT, if I was really near on the ball, not necessary. It's kind of just to keep me from getting caught with my pants down. There's this rascal. See if this thing completes and kills it. Yes, yes! It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Get our power grid going here. And actually, I'm going to try to anticipate the tier 2 transition, right? And actually what we should do is we should be zigzagging, right? Alright, good timing on that. I'm gonna get him up here. It's kind of a misclick there, but I'm gonna kill us. Alright, about as clean a start, except for that little fiasco with that first constructor, but we just won't talk about that. We just won't talk about that. See, no solo unit this early in the game is going to fuck with the commander. I went back into spectator mode for a second there, so actually we want to build radar. We're going to build some redundant radar and just... I feel like I don't even need this. But actually, I want it to protect the radar. So we're going to put it here anyway. Here, let's look at some things. 240 versus 50. So that's an extra math, 190. Versus one of these boys, which is 195. An extra guard tower is 90, but it doesn't really hold up in the later game. So I think I'm just going to skip this Nexus. And then give this one... So kind of... can't really square that circle. But I promise you what will happen is a tick will come through here. So we'll just put one of those there. You get look, all these little ticks everywhere. Like a player can't really sustain... I mean, a high-level player could. Like, they could attack you with 20 individual ticks and just make your life a nightmare. But you're less likely to see that compared to, just a ball of units, which is a lot more obvious and a lot more easier to predict. And actually, we want to go down to 2 constructors. We only want 4 at the beginning, but 4 per 10 units is ooh, okay, we got a lot of boys coming, but... This is, again, where the LLTs kind of come. If static defense has any purpose, it's, to support your units, at their rally point, right? So as I'm moving the rally point up, it gives my units someplace. And now that this guy, I've been waiting for my grave robber. If there's more to reclaim, I like to build the grave robber earlier, right? Because reclaim it's free real estate, right? Get it? Reclaim is king, actually. If you're not reclaiming wrecks, if you're not reclaiming trees, what are you doing? And it's well, it's just power. I need metal. Well, you can turn power into metal, you silly bean. Okay, we should start pushing, because he's got LLTs there. In fact, it's far as much harder when you play and broadcast. Let's just get radar up here. Oh, okay, so one of these boys we want to help Power Man, and one of these boys we want to help the Commander Man. And we never built our tower here because we got distracted. Yikes. Yikes. This is not ideal. We're going to split our forces here. Actually, dude divided his forces and... Oof. When this happens... Oh. Camera's on, pressure's on, am I right, folks? Okay, yeah, we gotta get this push started. Again, at that point, I might as well have just built the friggin' exploiters. But we're gonna get those wrecks back, actually. Why not? We're gonna do something with that. This is where T-gun is nice. I don't even care if I get some of my boys. Sorry. It's nothing personal, boys. I'll put up a memorial for you. That felt good. After all that chicanery. Actually, like, fight commands are actually, like, if it's the lazy way to play, it's usually the wrong way to play. And we want, this is, fuck that. We want a warden, because that'll survive into late game. In fact, we're going to actually take this, as soon as he's done with that, we're going to go into our tier. But I want you to build that first. You need to move up a rally point. Oh my god! If you're not applying pressure, you're losing. Similar to this, I mean, it even goes back to chess, right? In war, there's something called initiative, and if you don't have it, you're losing. If you have initiative, then you are driving the rules of the engagement. We're just gonna fuck all that. Just gonna say, I don't want none of that. We kind of left this boy exposed. I said no static defense, but because we're gonna play this one safe. Okay, this is where you need to come in. Ooh, oh, they're building it. Let's kill that. Actually, we were gonna go for the commander snipe, but that's when we're not gonna let them build that. We gotta go in to get that beamer. Oh, are you just gonna give it to me? Are you just gonna give it to me just like that? You're too nice. Oh, come on. Alright, we're not going to be afraid of the beamer this time. We're just going to focus down the beamer. We're just going to calmly focus down the beamer. And then we're going to calmly focus. And we even still have most of our units. So we're just going to... we are going to do the lazy thing and do a fight command so that we can pull this boy up. Nope, that's not fair. I have no idea how my units are doing. They're doing fine. If that other beamer gets them, that's kind of on them, you know? It's kind of a failure of them, on them to not... Okay, yeah, oh boy. Okay, yeah, most of them survived. Do I have another? Yeah. Get over here and help your comrades, bro. Unless that, what is that? Incisor. At this point, the gauntlet is actually pointless, but we're going to keep that construction turret there for support, because that is not... That is pointless. I mean, we're going to try to grab that Maxis. He's going to run him down. Oh no, that LLT is going to get him. Fuck you. Dude, Grave Robber off. Oh, fuck you, dude. No. My boy's alive. We're waiting on, yeah, radar. So, like, we have a little bit of time to goof off here. Oh, what are we doing? But we don't have time to do that. We want some extra Grave Robbers, though. That's not the worst thing to do, but at 13 minutes... I wanted to keep these guys back here to harass, to kind of like keep yellow down. You know what we can do, though? We can send these boys to power. Who sends crying over spilt milk? And send this boy to help get metal. Alright, and now, alright. Anti-radar is coming out on the field, so we're about to, we have 5 minutes. So we want a rally point at the center, and then, boy. That might be it for my tier 1 boys. They're cut off behind enemy lines. Also, I can out-micro that Centurion. Maybe if I kill it, I can turn it. This isn't going to help my primary objective, though. But it sure is funny. Okay, we need to move this. Sheldon Ball, go. I've just got to let that go. I've just got to... All of my focus here. Everything else is going. The only thing is maybe we put more build power somewhere, but let's grab this Maxis. Ooh. Those blitzes? No, more incisors. Why are we not firing? Oh, we didn't have... Oh, no. I was like, what? They should have been attacking them. At least that kind of helped us sneak in here. The question is, all right, we have to divert some to help clean this up. We might lose a couple mexes, but we can't just let them go wild. We have to keep this guy going out, though. Oh, maybe we get this factory back here, though. They got my boy. We'll just do a fight command through there. Fuck it. To Valhalla. Damn, they're really doing me dog. Having them on hold fire really messed me up, because that would have slowed down that ball. This is gonna slow us down. Because now half of my, we only have 14 Sheldons. We really want 30. 30 is kind of the magic number. Obviously, anything you can get upwards of that is better. I'm just gonna have to let my teammate clear that up. That's on you, buddy. That is totally on you. Hell yeah, they did it! Fucking easy company. You know what, boys? You earned a ride home. Oh, 18 minutes, let's go. Get him. Yes! 1756, baby! Show me that beautiful data. We probably had worse. Oh, good metal grab. Again, breaking away at the tier 2. Again, perfectly smooth, like my brain. This curve here. You love to see it. Oh, the whole game. Green actually putting in work here. Alright. Okay. That was fun. Let's do a, just to cap it off, let's try to do a rush. Let's do a meme.
Let's do a meme for the ages.
We're gonna do something a little different. This is not something that I've practiced. Okay. Something like this. So we're gonna grab this extra metal here. We're gonna keep the commander at the drone plant, just pumping and dumping. So that's why we need this. We need this guy up here for early defense in case they rush. The Legion mexes famously produce power somehow. Nobody knows how. I guess it has its own generator. Is that how that's supposed to work? So that was 20 minutes with Sheldons, which is, again, what we'd call like I don't know if that's your current PvP meta. Truth be told, my internet's bad for AV8s. If this goes well, maybe I'll pay for faster internet and start streaming AV8s. I don't know. I do miss them. I mean, air rushes aren't unheard of in PvP scenarios, though usually you would want to go bombers. I really like the Legion gunship because the missiles are like very high damage. They kind of have this reload mechanic, so it works very well for like hit and run tactics where you kind of like do a salvo, retreat, let them reload their full payload, go back in again. And they kind of have that like classic strafing action that helps them avoid some like the missiles and turrets and direct fire weapons. So I think we go for... We're just gonna go for 8. We're not gonna be able to get the second commander with so few, and what's gonna happen is they're not gonna make AA at first. They're not gonna make it AA until they see our units, so we're gonna kind of have like a freebie. Unless the computer decides to go air, which sometimes it does. When you go air, it just knows because the computer cheats. It's a cheater. I find air is actually, especially the gunships across all factions, they work almost better as defensive units. They only really work well as defensive units like super early. The bombers, because they have a little bit more HP, they can survive more fire from the ground. I mean, there's a reason why, like, yeah, bombers and gunships are gunships. I really like using gunships really more for control and leaks. We didn't build a radar, which we don't really need one, but we are going to need, because these act as scouts, they'll also draw some fire. Is 8 enough? I feel like it's usually 8 bombers. I don't know if it's 8 gunships. I think 8 gunships should get commander. Come on, baby. Oh, there's no reason to have low power. That's silly. You usually want some kind of scout plane for your bomber. Oh, he's really pushed up. Okay, this is gonna be easy, though he did build AI. We could focus it down, but I think we can get him. Yeah, he's hosed. Yoink. Yeah, we're not gonna get the medal. He's real pushed up. Let's go for 30. Just to be sure. Why not? The real hardest part about air is that your constructors are just so vulnerable. You can kind of make up for the vulnerability of your other units by just scale or micro, but the constructors are just like, they have to hover around like idiots to build things, so it makes it hard to build on the front line, which is usually like air only. Is really a better rush tactic. Leave none alive. But like, I wouldn't try to get that reclaim now, right? Like, whereas the bots, it allows me like a cheaper unit that's a little more mobile to see, yeah, those direct fire units can mess up my boys. But not today. I'm gonna eat you up. You tasty. One thing you might notice about me is I like building in lines. We're a little low on power. Why do we keep being low on power? I don't like this stuff. It's just not elegant. It's not an elegant solution to me. Again, this isn't a practiced build order. I'm just kind of winging it here. That's a large force. We should probably hook our boy up. Even though we're gonna pay for it, but they're so ineffective at AA, I don't think we're gonna pay for it that much, and we could maybe scoop up that metal. Here you can instantly see the defensive advantage of using gunships like this is that it just allows you to respond to those leaks. Now, soon he's gonna start pushing me with AA, and then I'm gonna be in trouble. We should actually help him get this tower up, and then once that's up, he can build those tier 1.5s. And I mean, they look like the Dune things. The little ornithopter. Little Paul Atreides. Little The Fear is the Mind Killer. Little Walk Without Rhythm. Little Christopher Walken, who plays the Emperor. Oh yeah, there we go. See, now they're pushing us with AA. So now is the point in the game where we need vehicles. We need some ground units to cover our air units. Only, I'm kind of committed to the meme of air only rush. So let's go, Don John. Foolishly pull this back when I have nothing to defend against. Fools! Fools, all of them, fools! Alright, I'm actually just gonna put my commander on power now, because that's where we're stalling. We've been stalling the whole time. I kind of was like over relying on that 7.7, 7.0 power from the mexes, but it's not quite cutting it. Especially with air, which famously needs lots of power. Oh, we're almost there. 23? Okay. Let's put these on high priority. Oh, nope. I don't need you to fight. Oh, one more. Alright, let's go. We need the scouts too. Everybody. The question is, do we do a plan B? No, that's planning for failure. It's dumber than regular planning, Morty. I love microing planes. We need the ball together, though. We need these stragglers to get up off of that thing. I guess we could send in the reserve. Fire everything! Get it going together. Again, exploiting the side of the map ensures you're only taking fire from one direction. Not a very realistic strategy. Ooh! Oh, there he is. It's like we could get that tier 1, tier 2, but I think we're just gonna go in for it. Oh, he built a... Oh, he rezzed his boy! He rezzed his boy! Do I have enough? I have 6. Is that enough to get him? If the damage from the first one was enough. again, those little strafing moves, I think we'll get him. 13 minutes, 14 minutes? Not that much faster than the Sheldons, honestly. I thought this was going to be a lot faster. Obviously, that first one pops super easy. The fact that he rezzed his boy. Bro, are you going to die or what? This is going to end up taking longer than the... Okay, we got it. 13:45. So here you see not nearly the... Again, in fact, we didn't even really do the most damage. Obviously, shooting down all of my boys got him a huge jump. It's an example of doing more with less. But yeah, that's your air rush. You can do that with bombers. I used to try a blitz rush, and I find that, especially on big maps, the blitz just doesn't. It's not fast enough. It's like if you want a rush down on something any bigger than a 1v1, you kind of have to go air. But anyway. That's it. Hope you learned something. But yeah, oh my god, I can't believe I actually got that sub 20 minutes. This is the first time, and I got it by a couple minutes. So, but yeah, stay tuned for the content. Maybe I'll make more content if you like this. If you like the content, be well. Later.